Yeah, second day, doing it for you, doing it with you. Thank you. I'm very honored to be part of your world and part of this experience. And yeah, I'm a little bit later. Today was just amazingly wild, just one thing after another happening. It is really my intention to be on here in the morning around 9 o'clock, 9 to 9:30 every day. So those of you that are looking, I got a couple of notes saying that were looking for part two, which really honors me, and I'm glad to be on here with you. So here I am. It's 24 hours later, a little bit more than 24 hours later, when I talked to you the last, and I was at the pool at my friend's house, and my friend who has renovated the house and had let me stay there. I'm outside right now, as you can see by my glasses, and they self darken, but and I'm at my beach house. So you can see the palm trees behind me, and I'm sitting on my kind of my back stairs to the entrance of my house, just trying to get away and be quiet. Be in quiet as much as we can. The neighbors next door moving in. He just bought the house, so yay! Congratulations to him. And so you might hear some noise going on as they're moving in. They're putting things in and out of their shed. So anyway, glad to be with you. I'm Paula Bohland, and I would say, like, a spiritual realtor, right? I'm not a realtor. I'm a spiritual real estate strategist. I used to be a realtor, actually. So say hi if you're on with me. I'd love you to ask questions, interact. I'm on here for a period of time and want to chat with you about the topic, want your interaction. Yesterday we had great interaction, great feedback. And then, of course, I did get some outside messages about getting part two, wanted some more information, which just thrills me. And by the way, if you're on here now or on here later, whether you're on the live, like right now or later on, please like and subscribe. And if you hear something you really like or something that somebody else could benefit from, please share this with them. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about the idea of like being enough, being deserving, and deserving, really knowing that you deserve what you're getting. And if you don't deserve what you're getting, it can be a real problem, right? Like if you, maybe when you were growing up, like as a kid, somebody told you that you were, not enough, or you were a pain in the neck, or children should be seen and not heard. I mean, what are some things you heard growing up that kind of taught, poked you about whether or not you feel deserving? Like, you know, um, you want stuff that you can't have, money doesn't grow on trees, all that kind of stuff. And as we move forward into adulthood, by the time we're 7 years old, those kind of messages have gone deep into our subconscious mind, and they're affecting how we relate to the world. So those times where you show up somewhere, maybe in an even bigger state. Yesterday I was talking about, well, I was at that really nice house, this $1 million house, and I was just talking about, I had this moment where I was like, I don't fit in here. I don't fit here. I got to leave. And it wasn't because I was told to leave. I was actually told to stay there. I want you here. I love you here. But my own inner stuff, my feeling of worth, my feeling of deservingness, my feeling of wholeness was going back to that little kid that grew up in poverty, that was told she was too much, and to get out of the way and all those kind of things. And so I was thinking to myself, well, I don't deserve this. And then I caught myself. It took that pause that I talked about, and I did the opposite of what you usually do. That just changes things so much. If you take a pause when you're feeling that ick inside, and you take a minute to kind of think through, well, what's going on, and get aware, because 99% of people are just marching through life waiting to die. I'm going to tell you that. And they're not aware. So the fact that you're here and you're tuning in and you haven't tuned off, you're probably thinking about this a little bit, right? And so if you're aware, you can take a pause and you can think, why am I feeling so icky? And then you can wait and see what comes up, and then watch, because you're going to want to be reactive. You're going to want to do what you usually do, whether it's, whatever it is, leave or, tell somebody you can't be there or, whatever it is. You're going to want to do what you want, usually do, but do the opposite. That will change everything. It'll change the amount of money you're bringing in. It'll change what happens in your life. It'll change how you feel about things. Do the opposite. And let's admit something here. It's not going to be comfortable. Comfort, I think, is the new cigarette smoking. We are told, oh, be comfortable. Oh, calm your nervous system. Oh, and yeah, we don't want to walk around like in reactivity. That's, being out of control. And I love everybody saying hi, 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 hi. But when we're in reactivity and when we're in that space of feeling only comfort, I'm only looking for comfort, we don't grow. Which brings me to, sure, you can have a shout out. Hi, shouting out to Kalani. Hi to you. Shout back. Shout back. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I love you guys are saying hi to each other. Please give me your questions, your thoughts as I'm chatting on about this. So this piece that I'm saying about comfort and taking the pause when you're finding yourself feeling icky inside, and especially around those messages you might have been told when you're a child, maybe you're not even connected with them, but all of that stuff that starts coming up when you just feel icky inside, take a minute and get yourself aware. Let it be there. You're going to want to shove it away. You're going to want to eat over it or whatever you usually do. That's your reactivity. And take the opportunity to not do that, to just feel it and breathe into it and pause. And then you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable. And this is back to my thought for today is the discomfort is where you grow. Okay. And the discomfort, it is not comfortable to grow. I mean, I use this analogy a lot in my coaching and my teaching and those kind of things. And so I'm going to use it here. You'll probably hear it a lot, but I really think maybe I was an acorn in another life. You think about like a little acorn. I mean, just imagine just a little acorn. And what is a squirrel running around and doing? It's running around with it in its mouth and trying to bury it and things like that. And forever that acorn has been sitting around on the ground. It's just been experiencing this little contained self, this little contained seed, and it's been living its life contained like that. And that's its comfort, right? That's what it knows. And so one day this squirrel picks up this acorn, right? And this runs around the yard and then digs a little hole and sticks this acorn in a hole, right? And so what happens, that acorn all of a sudden, who was used to seeing the sunshine and maybe feeling the rain and all of that, being outside of the ground, is now in this dark place, that it knows nothing about. Who in here has been in a dark place you don't know nothing about, right? And that's discomfort, right? But here's the point. They're in that it's in that dark place. It's probably freaking panicking. Like, what happened? Oh my God. It used to be this way and now it's all dark and it's cool under here and da da da. And then one day, all of a sudden, your whole shell starts to shake and you're like, what is going on? Oh my God, everything's breaking. Everything's falling apart. Oh my God. Can't I just put the shell back together? Can't I just go where the light is? Can I? In panic, right? This acorn in panic mode. And all of a sudden it's down there and it's freaking out and it's uncomfortable. The shell's breaking apart. It's not feeling good. And then something happens and things settle down. And there's this experience of blip. And what happens? What happens then? For those of you who are listening, the little sprout comes up from the ground. And that acorn has changed. Its shell, its discomfort has changed it from this little hard little seed into a what? A little sapling who is above ground now and may live hundreds of years and get stronger and stronger and stronger and be this strong tree. And so that discomfort had to happen, even though that acorn did not understand what was going on. And if you guys are like, getting this analogy right now, you might understand that that's stuff that happens to you. It has to happen to you so you can grow. If you're always in comfort, if you're never trying a new thing, if you're always going right back into, oh, I don't want to challenge this, or I don't want to feel this, and you know, flying away from anything that's uncomfortable, you can't grow. It is how God grows us. Okay. So, yeah, let's give you a shout out. Oh, Kalani. Oh, you did. I think I gave you a shout out. I'm gonna give you another one. Okay. But anyway, you can't grow if you don't have discomfort from time to time. And I'm not talking about taking unusual risks or, trying to break your neck or anything like that, but knowing that that is the way that God grows us. And yesterday, so this is kind of my point here, is yesterday we were talking about your ability to know you deserve allows you to open your hand and God give you all of what you can imagine, more than you can imagine, give you all of those gifts and all of that abundance. Okay. But if you don't feel you deserve, you're either not going to open your hand very much and you're not going to get much, or you're going to get it and then you'll tip it out. All right. So being able to move from where you are now into feeling deserved is going to be uncomfortable. It's a new language for you. Sitting in that pause, sitting in that feeling is going to be uncomfortable. And it is God's plan. It is how we grow. Think about that acorn when it's happening. You've been through these times in your life where you've had the dark night, you've had the dark time, you've had the stuff feel like it's all going wrong, like the world's against you. And I'm going to tell you, it's not that it's going against you, it's that you are growing your capacity to receive. You have to go through some things to change, to break your shell, to be able to grow into a bigger person. And it is often, often, almost always uncomfortable to be able to receive more. Okay. So if you're like, let's just say that if God wants to bless us all the time. Let's agree on that one. Okay. We're all abundant. God wants to bless us. And God has this little 5-year-old in front of 5-year-old. Let's just take it from God into you as a parent. Your little 5-year-old, you love it, just takes your whole heart, right? And you just watch this 5-year-old and you think to yourself, I would give this child anything and everything, right? And then this child starts asking you for a new car. He sees you driving your car, he wants the car, and would it be really responsible for you to hand the keys to that car? And or just go buy a new car and give that 5-year-old the keys? I mean, it's kind of a stupid question because none of us, I don't think anyone in their right mind would say yes to that, right? We just know that that would destroy them. If we gave them the keys to a new car and they're 5 years old and they start to try to drive this thing, I mean, literally destroy them, kill them, right? And so there's this holy ground that we walk on with once we get deserved to receiving, and how much we can receive. It's holy ground, and we have to grow our ability to receive. How much can you hold, right? If we're standing here like this, or we're standing like this and then we dump it out because we don't feel that we can't receive well, then there's a little bit of discomfort we have to sit through. And we have to for me, I have been through in the last 6 months of my life some of the hardest things that I've ever lived through, honestly. It's involved legal issues. It's involved a son who made some bad decisions. It's involved losing a lot of money. It's involved houses. I'm in the real estate market that weren't selling because of a slowdown. It's involved clients. And I mean, it just felt like one of those times. I don't know if anybody can identify with that. It's just like, please don't ask what else can go wrong because we're just not putting that in the universe, right? But it's been one of those times of so much discomfort. comfort. There were times where I really didn't know. I was literally praying, like, can I handle any more? And if anybody can identify with that and been through that, please say me, or please, chime in, tell your story if you want to. And by the way, if you're getting something good out of this, please like and subscribe. Please, I'd love to have more of you guys on with me. Please interact with me, give me some feedback, all the things. So, anyway, so here I am in the middle of this hardest time, the dark night of the dark night of the soul, literally. And what happens is I start to deepen my faith deeper than it's ever been in my life. I start having these like desperate from the beginning conversations with God, and new ideas and new opportunities and new um, monies from different sources that I wouldn't even have told you about, new people in my life, new relationships, um getting, how they say go big or go home. Just the conversation, I mean, like, it was literally the experience of cracking my acorn shell. Like the story, if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. And me being broken so that I could become something else, so I could be in a new identity. So I had to live through, I believe, that discomfort and explore it and be not necessarily okay with it because I didn't love it, but to be part of that, to be able to grow. And so being able to hold right now, if your money ain't great, if it feels like things just aren't working out the way you want them to work, what are some other things? The money's not great, your relationships might be ending, you might have, whatever it is, whatever your story is that you're feeling like, oh my God, is God even listening to me? Is am I even held? Am I even heard? What I want you to think about is you might be held, not even might be, you are being held and you are being taught and you are being blessed more than you can even imagine, because your vessel, if you're not receiving like tons of money and, easy kind of stuff, your vessel needs to grow. Your container for what you can hold. Right now, you're receiving with this partial maybe deservedness, and you need your vessel to grow. And I'm not talking about this for somebody that's like, you know down and out, doesn't have any money. I'm talking about even the experience of people that are making really good money, that are going to a job every day that they don't necessarily like, that they are staying in comfort. They're showing up at that job, not because they love it, but because it's comfortable and they know they get a paycheck every month. And I'm not telling you to leave your job, but having that discomfort when you have something else in your mind. Remember yesterday I talked about that we don't have visions of what we want, of our desires, without them being blessed, without them being from God. If you go talk to 10 different people about what their desires are, most people will say, I want some money, but the amount of money is going to be different. What they want to do with the money is going to be different. Why they want it is going to be different. And all of that is blessings. That is the vision that is yours, by birthright. It's given to you by God. But the reason you don't have it all right now is you don't have a big enough container to hold it. It's kind of like the 5-year-old that if gave the keys and a brand new car to, you would destroy them. And your God knows that. Your God knows that journey. My God knows that journey. And there's times as you are praying for change, as you're praying for, I hate this job, God, I really want to do something else. I've always thought about starting my own business, or God, I really want to get into real estate investing. I really want to, do something and work for myself and then give back to my community. As you're talking about that stuff, God's like, okay, I got to prepare you. You have to be able to receive this, because if I give it to you, and I want you to have it with all my heart, just like your 5-year-old. You want them to have a new car if you could give it to them, right? But you know better. So God's like, well, let me help you grow into it. Let me help you expand. But you know what? You got to get out of comfort. You got to know that this is a process of you not being comfortable because of growth, of that acorn cracking, of you being in a time where you just like are not knowing what's really happening and it feels so uncomfortable. But just pray. Thank you. This is a great time. And I know you're like, shut up. But you could pray, thank you, because I am expanding. I am growing. Okay. And if anybody can identify with what I'm saying right now, like any of that journey, I'd love to hear that about you. I'd love to hear that from you. I'd love to hear you type in your journey or whatever, and we can talk about it a little bit more. But what you're going through right now, everybody goes through it, from somebody that doesn't have a lot of money to people that are making literally multi millions. Every single next level, you have to be able to receive it so it doesn't destroy you. And so you have to be able to grow into it. And your God is blessing you with that growth. I want you to think about this today when you're in some kind of struggle. I want you to think about this today when you're kind of like thinking, oh God, why this? Why that? Think about you being able to grow into receiving, and thank God for teaching you, showing you, honoring you, to teach you how to make your what I call vessel bigger, your container bigger. Because if God gave you that $1 million, like the stories, who knows the stories about people that have win like millions of dollars in the lottery? I mean, who doesn't think about, even today I had something going on and I was like, I just gotta buy this house from this client. I'm just so tired of dealing with it. Let me just buy the house because I know in 5 years I can sell it and I'll be fine. I could rent it out in the meantime. And I was like, let me just go win the lottery, right? I'll just go get the lottery and just pay the $1 million for the house. And it's, we all think about that, right? It's just like the fast solution and all of that. But the statistics, or you can go look them up, that most people who win the lottery literally within a year don't have that money anymore. Literally. And many times it destroys their life. They lose their family, they lose everything they bought, they lose, they literally, it is the perfect example of receiving too much without the container that's ready to receive it. And literally that example of what I gave of giving your 5-year-old the keys of the car and getting them a brand new car, it can destroy you and destroy everything you have. So you have a blessed God. You have a great God who wants to bless you with all of it, but you're in the process. I'm in the process of growing the container, the ability to hold it. So this stuff that's happening might just be because your container's getting bigger. And if you can hang in there, if you can keep on looking at your dream, if you could keep blessing the situation, bless the situation. I know you're like, shut up. I don't want to bless the situation. Been there, done that. Do it at least once a day. Okay. Telling you the truth. So, but if you can get to the place, maybe an hour later, where you bless the situation, it's going to help you grow and it's going to give you more blessings. Because think about it. Like if your 5-year-old came to you and said, I want that car. I want that car. I want that car. I want that car. You probably go buy them a Hot Wheel, right? You'd buy them, give them a little bit of less of what they could handle. And then if they kept saying, but no, I want the real car. I want your car. I want a Rolls Royce. I want all the things. You'd be thinking, oh, I'd love to give it to you. Get to be 16, right? And you could probably have a conversation with them about there's some things you got to learn. You're not tall enough to hit the brakes. You're not tall enough to hit the gas. It could crash and hurt you and, all the things. You'd have that conversation, right? And if you'll open yourself up to, I'm growing my container. I'm having this struggle because I need to be able to receive more. I don't want to be that lottery winner that it destroys. And those of you, and me included, who have had large sums of money come your way, and then all of a sudden it's all gone. It's all gone. Over and over and over again. It's all gone. That's pretty much an indication that you have not grown in your container to be able to receive it. One, deservedness, we might be on that, but to hold it. So I'm going to tell you something to do is really focus on holding the money. Okay. And I know you got bills, you got stuff to pay. I'm not telling you not to pay your bills. Okay. Pay your bills. But if you get a large sum of money, what I used to do all the time, this was like my pattern until like like recently, like how many years old am I? It took me what, 60 years to learn this. I would get a sum of money and I would spend the next whatever time it was when I knew the money was coming until I received it, thinking about, oh my God, it's not going to be enough because I've got to pay this person. I've got to pay that. I've got to take care of that. I've got to take care of that. And by the time it got there, one, I was in such a lax state. I wasn't even like thankful really anymore. I was more in like dread and, oh no, it's all going to be gone. And I would start telling myself that it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. So what happened? It was gone, right? And I didn't give it away, but I just use it, like give it to the other people, push it out, push that energy away. And money is an energy. We'll talk about that another time. This is all stuff you got to know if you're going to make a butt ton of money in real estate. And like I said yesterday, like you're probably sitting there thinking, well, she's a real estate chick and she invests in real estate. She does really well in real estate. Yeah, I'm sitting in a beach house right now. But 90% of starting any business and being successful in a business is not the stuff you do, the strategies, it's your mindset. And so we got to get this right. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about this everywhere. We got to know it. And I want you to talk to me about it, because the more you talk about it, you're going to be more aware and you're going to grow quickly. You're going to grow, and then all of a sudden you're going to see this money. So back to it. I would plan it out. Be in stress. The minute, like, say $10,000 came in, $40,000 came in because I sold a house, I'd be like, $40,000. But then I would like spend, oh no, it's all going to go away. Oh no, it's all going to be gone. And then that's what would happen. And so when I understood that my container, I was squeezing my ability to hold, right? Because I would just shove it right back out. There wasn't like I was literally holding it, that some of it had to stay with me. Some of it, please repeat this back to me. Some of it has to stay with you. Even if it's for 2 hours, even if it's for 4 hours, you look at it sitting there and you appreciate it and you thank God and you be in the energy of it staying with you. And I would recommend that not just that 4 hours, but there's a percentage that you keep. Because how much difference is it going to make? You owe these people already. You can be communicating with them, you can work it out, you can give them, all the things. But for you not to be holding some of that and just pushing it back out, it's making you smaller and smaller, and you're showing your God that you don't have the capacity to hold it. And then you're going to be that 5-year-old without the car, right? Let's be the 25-year-old who has the car and then move on to the Rolls Royce, right? All the things. So you want to be practicing holding it responsibly as well, right? So I'm not saying don't pay your bills, but I'm also saying keep some for you and tithe. The other thing is, in the Bible, there's all kinds of messages about giving to the poor, giving all the things, and we get all balled up about our money and, maybe I should have it, maybe I shouldn't have it, all that stuff. Yes, you should have it. You have an abundant God that gave it to you. Learn how to hold it, and learn how to hold it in a joyous way, and give, but also give out, but also help the world, right? So many of you make comments to me, whether I'm meeting with you to help you plan out why do you want to use real estate? Why do you want to invest in real estate? It's almost never about the real estate. It's about, you want to give to the world, you want to give to your family, you want to be happy, it's almost always about the thing you really want, your North Star, which I'm going to talk about the next time I talk to you, is how do you find and then determine what is it you really want? How do you get to it? All of that stuff in the middle of life happening, right? So we've talked now about like deservedness. We talk now about being able to hold it in your, you would call it your container, and the discomfort that sometimes comes as you grow into it, that you need to have that discomfort. Not killing yourself, not hustling, all that, but just feeling the feelings and knowing that that discomfort is the devil dancing on you, and you can just feel it. You don't have to go eat over it. You don't have to, go watch, what do they call that, doom scroll and all that stuff. You can literally sit in it and know what's happening. You're growing on purpose. Okay. So now that you've got this, you want to know where it goes. And part of it stays with you. I had to learn that. And here's another point. The minute I learned that, The minute I wouldn't say learned it, the minute I started practicing money coming in, large sums of money coming in, even small sums of money coming in, me holding it and me celebrating that I was holding it, um, more and more came. And I felt, instead of lack based, I felt in plenty. I felt blessed. I felt gratitude. I could see that things could happen. So I want to encourage you to look at, honestly, what kind of ability do you have? How is it showing up that you're holding your money? You're holding your relationships. You're able to hold the healthy stuff, the good stuff, the blessings. Or are you just pushing it away? Are you giving it away to everybody else? I was having this conversation. I think he's on right now with one of my friends, and yesterday, and he's such a good guy, and he does everything for everybody. And he like doesn't have any like resources for himself right now because he gives it all away. His cousins, his family, and there's always a reason, right? I mean, I had to help him. I had to, but where are you holding on to and showing your Lord that, yes, you blessed me and I have a container that'll hold on to this, and I can do that too. So you can give me more, and I'm going to continue to grow it so I can have more and more and more. If you're always pushing it out, what you're doing is squeezing the receiving. You're just squeezing the container so it all flies out. And then God's like, well, maybe I shouldn't give the car because, or, whatever it is. My example of the 5-year-old in a car, because of they might destroy themselves. If I gave too much right now, they're not even holding, like, the $5,000. They're not even holding part of that. What if they destroy themselves if I give them $100,000 like they pray for? Like, I know that's available for them. I'm an abundant God. I could give that to you. But what if I did and then you get destroyed? I don't want my child destroyed. You got a mission to do. You got gifts and talents you need to take out into the world. I want you to use this and give it and go forward. And that's where some of your tithing comes, because then you can like allocate a percentage of it. You don't have to necessarily give it to your church, but you could, like, I tithe with helping other people out. That's part of my tithe. I tithe, not necessarily it all goes to my church, but there's a percentage. It's 10% or more for me. And I have that whatever comes in. I'm gonna put $500 here, help this person out that way. That is part of my tithe too. So I pray about it and those kind of things. All right. So in summary today, we've talked about being able to receive, and those messages that you received as a kid. More than likely, all of this stuff is grounded in stuff that you heard, stuff that your parents, and I don't think your parents were necessarily bad. They were doing the best they could. You've heard this over and over again. It wasn't like they wanted you to be, not feel like you deserve or anything like that. But you do have a caring God that's watching over you and doesn't want to destroy you, like giving you the keys to the car of a 5-year-old. And so God knows how much you can receive and how much without destroying you. And so you could praise for that, but you can also, on purpose, seek the Lord and say, how can I grow? Teach me, guide me, show me how I can grow my container and receive more. I want more money. I mean, you gave me, God, you gave me the vision of making $1 million. You gave me the vision of running my own business. Show me how I can become a better container, recipient, a holder of this, so I can bless myself and bless my family and do what is on my heart to do. Right. So we've talked about that, and we talked about how to do this. The truth of the matter is, you're gonna need to be a little bit uncomfortable, because there's a blessing at the end of it. Always. Has anybody ever been uncomfortable and was like, why am I going through this? And then, like, sometime later, you were like, that's why. Okay, this wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have met this person. This wouldn't have gone down this way. I might have destroyed myself. I mean, you can usually see, if you're a believer, that you're being protected. You're being protected. But the other side of it is the protection is not more is going to come than you can handle. So, being able to look at, how do I expand? How do I expand what I can receive? And part of that is feeling more deserving. Part of that is being aware. Part of it's praying over, help me, guide me, teach me to grow I call it my vessel, to grow my ability to receive from you, Lord, to hold some for yourself. It's going to feel really good to do that. I'm not saying don't pay your bills. I'm not saying go out and spend wildly. I'm talking about what comes in, like, give some to you, hold some to you, so that you're practicing that too and you're feeling really good about it. You're taking care of yourself, right? And then you can set some money aside to tithe and use that for other people. But the other part of this is you got to learn to say no. You got to learn to say, my container is like almost empty. I got nothing to share, and be able to not feel bad that you haven't squeezed everything out of what the Lord's given to you, right? So all of this stuff is really, why the heck are you talking about this, Paula? You're all about real estate and real estate investing. It's because if you don't feel you deserve, I can tell you the energy of what you bring to the table. I can tell story after story. Anybody want to hear these stories? I'll tell them. But story after story about clients of mine that went and bought a house and they should have sold the house right away. And all they were saying is like, I know this house isn't going to sell for this amount. This was all done wrong. And, we spent too much on this house. And those are prayers you're putting out there. Those are prayers. You don't realize it, but careful of what you say. It's prayers you're saying. And then that energy of what was going out there, guess what happened? The person didn't sell their house. They, sat around and paid way too much money for it, all the things. And it's like all the king's horses and all the king's men will come and try to help. I can kind of try to help and do what I can do and market and talk about things. But if you don't have the capacity to have faith and to receive, or you're going to knock it down or spill it out when it starts to come, then it's going to go to smash anyway. We talked about going to smash, money going to smash over and over and over again. If you never have money in your accounts, but you're making money, like you're making money from your job or you're making money from wherever, maybe you're working for yourselves, maybe you run your own company and you're making millions of dollars a year. I hope so. Yeah, bless. But there's a lot of people out there that are making that kind of money that don't have any money. They don't have any money in their own account. And it's not because they're out there buying furs and, spending on Mercedes. They might be, but usually it's because they just haven't developed the capacity to hold on to it, to expand their vessel. Their vessel isn't big enough to hold what's coming in. And it's an easy fix. It really is an easy fix. And so if I go out there and I help you get $1 million real estate project, $1 million profit, and you could turn it to smash and have all this happen and have nothing. I've lived it. Without this knowledge and without this ability to hold on to the money and to hold on to be able to receive it. I was like the 5-year-old with the car, like smashing up my life, smashing up everything, right? And I needed to sit in that discomfort and I needed to hold the blessedness of discomfort. There's a blessing to discomfort sometimes. You could bless it. I know you'll think about it when you're uncomfortable and you'll be like, Paula says to bless my discomfort. I don't like her right now. But try it, see what happens. Okay, so we've had a great chat today. I appreciate everybody interacting. If you've heard something you like, please like, share, subscribe to this channel. I love being here with you. I am totally and completely honored to be here with you. We're going to continue on our journey of what is kind of the basis of what will help you bring your best self forward so that you can, whether you're in a job that's paying you hundreds of thousands a year, whether you're running a company that's paying you millions, or you're, just trying to figure out how do I even make enough money to pay all my rent? How can you do that? And what's the process? And how can you use real estate as a vehicle for that? We're going to continue to talk about that, but we got to think about it as a business. It's the Lord's business, really, and the business of you being able to be deserved, you being able to feel really good about your life no matter what's happening. We'll talk about that another time. And you being able, because in real estate, the truth of the matter is there's going to be times where it's crappy. There's going to be times where you've invested money and it's not selling because the market's like, it's up and down. And you've got to be able to hold yourself too and know yourself and center yourself, or you're going to go to smash in that. You're going to smash out your relationships and all the things and be mad at me and be mad at everybody, all those things. So we're going down this path of really setting you up in a very substantial way. And even like I said, you can be in that job that pays you $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, and still be in that space of how come I don't have any money? How come I'm not holding it? How come I don't feel good about what's happening in my life? Some of this is the basis of that. If you have heard something you like, or you know someone who needs to hear this, please share this. Go ahead and subscribe, like, and give me your comments. I'm going to keep going live, going to keep jamming out this way, and I'm glad to be with you today. We will talk tomorrow. Be well. Have a great day.